Hello YouTube land. I've just started doing written reviews. Written reviews that normally take about 2 hours to do. 1 hour typing away, sticking up the review, and another hour editing it and streamlining it and making it fit for publication. I'm not going to do a written review on Wraith #1 by Joe Hill because I dislike the book and it's not worth my time. It's only worth a 5-minute YouTube video with no preparation, no notes or anything. That's all that Wraith is worth. Joe Hill was the guy who did Lock and Key. Lock and Key's it's kind of an average book. It's an idea spread too thin. I've got 3 of the books, but I think there's about 6 of them. I sort of my interest sort of waned as I went along. And I feel that's the same for everybody else reading Lock and Key, really. It's one of those books that everyone starts raving about when it first begins. And you notice people start dropping off. And then as it peters out, there's no one even reading it at all. So that's his biggest thing, Lock and Key, and this Joe Hill. I just realised that he's the son of Stephen King. So Joe Hill's a fake name, or a pen name if you like. So that's how Joe Hill got into writing, I guess, because of his dad. He doesn't seem like a particularly talented guy to me. And that was really, that really sort of really crystallised in my mind, really, after reading Wraith, that Joe Hill isn't particularly talented, really. He's just a guy who's in a position to do some writing because of his dad, really. I suppose it's because of the contacts his dad's got. I'm sure if Stephen King wasn't his dad, we've never even heard of Joe Hill. And I wish I never bought this book. I really do. I spent money on this. Oh god. Hopefully no one will buy it, and it will start petering out in issue 3 and 4, much like Lock and Key has. I'll race through this review, and I'll do spoilers because I don't want anyone to buy this book. I don't admire the mindset it comes from. The whole tone of it is lazy and evil and just hates humanity. But hates humanity from a distance. It's not actually connected to humanity. There's no relation between this book and the real world. It's almost like a horror movie sort of ugliness, and it's 2013. But the reference points are Billy the Kid and Nosferatu, the movie from 1922. The subtitle is something to do with Christmasland. Yeah, Welcome to Christmasland. If you remember the old Simpsons episode with the monorail, it's that sort of plot with a con man selling people stuff. So it's just old crappy stuff which Joe Hill's put together in 2 minutes. He hasn't even bothered to do any research on the internet. I mean, everyone's got the bloody internet nowadays, so he can do some research on all sorts of weird and wacky stuff. Joe Hill hasn't even bothered to do that. He just sat down on the computer for 5 minutes and decided to do something as sick as possible, and that's what he's come up with Wraith. Right, the book begins with a child abuser. There is disgusting, horrible stuff. There's a little girl in the back of his car. This man with disgusting teeth and a hat. Honestly, if that guy was driving around in a car, he'd be stopped by the police in 5 minutes. There's cameras everywhere nowadays, remember. Now, I don't know when this was set. I don't care really. I'm not going to be reading #2. But I'm guessing it's set in contemporary modern time, but I guess. Not that you'd be able to tell. He's driving this little girl around. And he starts talking to her. I feel bad talking about it really, because it's all celebration of sickness. And we go back to his past, and his mum was a prostitute, of course, and he slept in a coffin, of course, and he also got abused as a little boy, of course, and he took out his hatred because of the abuse on people, and he turned into a murderer, of course. And what does sociopathic young men do? Of course, they work for banks, but yeah. Yeah, what does sociopathic young men do for a living? They become drivers, of course, chauffeurs, and what do chauffeurs do? They always marry the people they drive around, don't they? Especially if you're an ugly young man. Yeah, I'm sure that Paris Hilton is going to get married to her driver today, isn't she? There he is. The ugly young man driving around Paris Hilton is marrying her, because that always happens, doesn't it? Because if that was the end of the story, if this young man just married the Paris Hilton type, there would be anything else happening. Joe Hill puts together a plot line where the money is all lost, in the stock exchange or something like that. I don't know. He doesn't know why, because he obviously hasn't researched it properly. So this man loses all his money, and the woman ends up hating him, of course, because this book really hates women. He is in his car. He invests in a place called Christmasland. I think, you know, like I said before, Simpsons monorail episode. And the kids turn into vampire type things in the back of his car. He murders everyone. The kids murder their mother, of course, because kids in this book are portrayed as almost like sucking the youth, the vitality, the life force out of mothers. That's why mothers hate children. Honestly, that's what this book is. It's the vampiric children. And at the end of the book, a bit more murder, the imaginary Christmasland, and that's that. If you want to read about a child abuser driving around in a big old Rolls-Royce, abusing kids with his demonic vampire children, then get this book. Why would you want to read that? Why would you want to read a book about a child abuser driving around in a Rolls-Royce, abusing people? Why would you want to do that? You'd have to be a bit of a sicko, wouldn't you, really? There's no even like real connection with the real world offence. Real world abusers are people like Jimmy Savile, who's a BBC celebrity. The reason why he was able to abuse children, he died in his 80s or something. He abused children since the 1950s, and everyone knew he was a child abuser as well. He was allowed to get away with this because of his social status, his celebrity status. And this bloke hasn't got any social status or anything. He's just a chauffeur driving around in a car. In the real world, he'd be caught in the first 5 minutes by the local police, and he'd be locked up and put in prison. That'd be the end of that. So Joe Hill isn't even clever enough, or isn't even in touch with contemporary mainstream news, really, to realise that a child abuser who gets away with abusing kids for a long period of time always has high social status, and that's how they get away with it. That's why the Catholic Church is ridden with child abusers, because of the high status of the priests. If you look at any organisation like Penn State University, the higher the social status of the men there, and women as well. Women abuse kids just as much as men. The higher the social status, the easier it is to get away with abusing kids. So if you want to abuse kids, I'm sure a lot of people reading this book actually will enjoy abusing kids. It's the kind of mindset it's set at. If you want to abuse kids, then join a big organisation, get some social status, and you better get away with it. You wouldn't realise that in this book. You think that all child abusers do is drive around in creepy old cars and, do you want to get into my car, little child? And the police apparently don't even notice. Never mind, there's cameras everywhere nowadays. No, the police don't even notice, and you can get away with it apparently, even if you've got blood stains on the back of your car. Yeah, load of crap. What an absolute load of crap. Wraith by Joe King. Let's call him Joe King. His real name's Joseph King. His name is not Joe Hill. That's just a made-up name. So people think that he's a writer who's actually producing books because of his own incredible talent, and not just because of who his dad is. So this is Wraith by Joseph King. Absolute load of shite. It's evil, twisted, boring, lame, ill-researched. It's not even researched at all, actually. Book about child abuse, which bears no relation to actual real-world child abuse. And everything about the book is a celebration of sickness, ugliness, decay, and it's just a load of shite. Don't buy that book. I'll give it a fat 0 out of 10, and that's being generous. Okay, thanks for checking out my review. Give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, but whatever you do, don't buy that book. And if you see the name of Joe Hill or Joseph King on the book in the future, then I'd advise you don't bother with it. This guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. He obviously lives in the suburbs somewhere. He's got no interest in the world around him. He just living on the name given to him by Stephen King, of course, and the contact's really not the name, isn't it? And just putting out a load of shit really that it shouldn't even be released in like budget horror movies. There's no ideas there at all. It's just awful stuff. Right. Thanks for checking out my review, and yeah, have a great day. Don't buy that comic, it's bloody horrible. See ya.